The girl tilts her basket away to hide whatever's inside.
You want to see what I got? I'm not telling.
She raises her eyebrows, encouraging you to pry further. This girl is either very confident or too young to know shyness.
Ha! Got you hooked. Too easy.
She twists her lips to one side, mimicking a more adult, thoughtful gesture.
I'll tell you what. I'll show you what's in the basket if you do something for me. Excellent. I want you to kill my mother.
She looks to check if you're paying attention, then points to a figure working at the other end of the field.
She's boring. She keeps making me work when I want to play.
The girl bursts into peals of laughter. She doubles over the basket, laughing so hard she's barely able to stand. When she can speak again, she says,
You should have seen your face. You really should.
She beckons you over, shows you her basket. 3 kittens snuggle up at the bottom. They're barely old enough to open their eyes.
Ma gave them to me for being good. I've called them Badb, Matcha, and Anand, after a story Nana told me.
She preens.
I'm very clever, you know.
The corridors of Cincinnati's music hall reverberate with the sounds of an orchestra warming up for rehearsal.
If we unbolt the light rig, we can crush them,
says a voice up ahead. No, another answers. Hiding Baldy's baton will be sufficient to stop the din. The tuxedoed men are slightly transparent. Mustachio on the right has his arms folded. The weaselly one on the left scowls. They start at your arrival.
I'm gonna undo those bolts.
Weasel feature vanishes into thin air.
Damn it all,
says the other man.
We used to be members of the orchestra until, well, you know. Patrick doesn't care for the new blood. It seems like talent died with us, so he does his damnedest to stop them playing. But I can't allow violence against fellow artists. Help me stop him. With the right tool, you can banish them from the hall. You see, no spirit can stand the sound of the purest of all instruments. No. No. No.
He shakes his head, exasperated.
No. The triangle. The orchestra has one, but their percussionist's a sop. He never hits it right. If you can get there, you can ensure the only thing brutalized here today is Chopin.
The orchestra is midway through practice. They're in dire need of it. The percussionist dozes on his stool. Everyone's oblivious to the muttering from the lighting rig. You sprint down the aisle and elbow through the incensed musicians. The percussionist falls off his stool as you clamber over his xylophone. You grab the beater and bring it down onto the triangle, eliciting a pure, resounding note. And the rafters ring with laughter. The mustachioed ghost appears next to you, doubled over, invisible to the furious orchestra.
I never thought you'd fall for that. The triangle, for God's sake. Thanks for shutting them up, though.
A hurried little girl collides into you with a wheelbarrow full of hay, nearly knocking you out of your shoes.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You nod, but the way the girl fusses over the wheelbarrow, was that apology meant for you?
Lost? Me? No, not at all.
She stands up taller and squares her shoulders, projecting an image of adulthood so stiff she looks about to tip over.
But I guess I could use a little help. Can I ask you something pretty, please? Well, I found this critter, but my daddy won't let me keep it unless I take real good care of it.
Relating this dilemma has put her on the verge of tears.
Do you know how I can be the very best pet owner in the world?
The girl bursts into hysterical laughter, like she just heard the funniest joke.
Well, I don't know how to feed it when it don't have a mouth.
The laughter fades, and her look of worry returns.
Any other ideas?
She smiles so bright.
That's all it takes? Gosh, I already love it so much.
Just a moment there,
he says, shaking your hand.
I'm Paul Dalhart from the Republican Herald. You may have heard of it, syndicated in 6 counties. Well, no matter, but listen. You may have noticed a vocal few out there, I call them naysayers, who throw up their hands and fly the white flag as soon as life gets a little tough. But wouldn't you agree that it's never been a better time to live and do business in this country?
He nods happily, scribbles down your details for the paper.
I could tell you weren't a naysayer the first time I saw you. My thanks.
And his voice drops to a conspiratorial whisper as he palms you a quarter.
From a brother in arms.
The barn and silo have seen better days. One big storm might bring the whole structure down. A man hollers.
Ken? Ken? I know you're here, boy.
He sees you and lopes across the field toward you.
You seen a boy around? About 14?
He sighs.
My boy is missing. I haven't seen him since last night.
He swallows.
He ain't the type to run off, neither. Can you spare a minute to help look? I'm worried sick.
Interior of the barn is dim, even with the great doors thrown open. You check the animal stalls, but find nothing. As you look up to the loft, you spot a gap in the roof. A bit of cloth hangs down. Perhaps a shirt. You climb the ladder and make your way across the roof. A trail of empty beer bottles leads you past a discarded shirt and to the base of the silo. You climb up. There's a hole in the silo roof, a rupture where rotten wood gave way under something large. You maneuver your way along the edge, keeping your weight off the rotted panels. You poke your head inside. He's there, half submerged in the grain. He's been dead for half a day at least. The man's waiting at the bottom of the barn ladder.
Anything?
There's a spark of hope in his eyes. He chokes back a sob.
I told him not to go up there. I told him.
He looks up at the tower, then turns to you, tears tracking down his grimy cheeks. Why didn't he listen? There's a truck parked here. The driver mistakes your look for curiosity.
You want to see something interesting?
He asks, pointing to the trunk. He opens it. There's hundreds of metal tubes with little numbered screw-on caps sorted in wooden racks.
We've been surveying, he said. It's my job to study soil health.
The trunk has a map taped to it, marked with numbered dots.
I can show you the one from your hometown if you see it here.
It's an official-looking map, but the state borders and rivers are wrong. Half your county is missing. The surveyor offers you a coin for directions to your hometown, but his notes are funhouse mirror English writing.
Fascinating,
he murmurs.
We learn so much from you folks.